This is a short video just illustrating some of the features of this new S186 board. This is the CPU is down here in the middle of the board. These are the two EPROMs. This is the LED bar which illustrates the status of the 86. Right now it's in a reset mode. You can see that none of the LEDs are on, indicating that the board does not actually access the bus. In fact, the Z80 is accessing the bus. You can see it's accessing its own onboard EPROM. While I'm at it, just let me show you some of the other cards in this system. This is the behind that is the dual IDE board, containing the two CF cards, showing the current track sector information down here on the hex display. Behind that is the propeller-driven console I/O board. This hex display here illustrates the actual hex ASCII character being entered. For example, if I hit a carriage return, you can see that goes to 0D. Behind that is the all-important Z80 Western Digital 2793 floppy disk controller board. It's uninitialized right now. You can see it indicated by the cycling of the top two hex displays. We will initialize it when we load the operating system. And behind that we have the serial I/O board with its own speech synthesizer. This hex bar displays the status of the serial port. Up at the front, actually, I have the power interrupt controller board with the real-time clock. You can see the system tick flashing here on vector 7 on the bus. Actually, in this initial version of CPM86 we won't use interrupts, just to keep things simple. And up at the very front is the system monitor board, which illustrates the current status of the bus, and this has already been described. Okay, so let's get started. As I said initially, the Z80 is actually running the bus. So if we go over here, it has its own monitor. This is the commands of the Z80 itself. You can display, for example, the first 64K of RAM. You can see its own ROM up at the top of the first 64, its own PROM up at the top of the first 64K of RAM. The O command in the Z80 switches over to the 8086. Now the 8086 monitor comes up. It illustrates the current status of the segment registers, and you can see now that the hex bar, that the LED bars are actually active. The board has control of the bus, and in fact is accessing its own onboard ROM. You can in fact single step through the the CPU board. If I press the single step command, you can see that the various LEDs will show the status of the bus for each single step function. So going back, then we release control. We're back to the monitor itself. It has its own K commands. And for example, if I press A, it will now display the complete 1 megabyte status of memory in the system itself. The very useful command is the N command, which actually is a submenu which actually allows you to access the dual IDE board on board. You can, for example, then look at sequentially look at the sectors on the IDE card. There's two drives. And this just displays individual sectors on the drives themselves. A very useful command is the Y command, which allows you to copy one CF card to another and in fact verify that they're the same. They will actually not come up the same right now, simply because the two cards are different. I got different software in both of the cards themselves. If I press the Z command, it'll bring me back to the Z80. Oops, I have to get back to the main command first, and this will bring me back to the Z80. Now you can see the 8086 is no longer command. The Z80 is back in command itself. I can bring up my CPM in the Z80 by pressing the P command, and the directory on the A drive and the safe card is just shown here. And if I type CPM86XX in this particular case, I will then bring in the CPM86 plus. So now the 86 is back in control. The LED is not on anymore, obviously, because it's accessing the real RAM in the board itself. And it behaves just like CPM. If I do the directory, it will display the directory on that same card as the CPM plus. The floppy disk controller has been initialized. You can see it's in FF. And if I wanted to look at, for example, the B drive, I would say BD B colon, and it will now display the direction of the B drive. This is the direction on the B drive. You can see now it's actually on track to sector 3 and 0, meaning it's the B drive. There are actually 4 drives altogether, A and B. I have a 360 5-inch drive and a 1.44 drive. So that's a very brief summary of the board itself. The website s100computers.com really step by step hopefully makes it clear how you bring up a CPM86 plus on the system.